Justin Trudeau wants to ban plastic. I'm serious. I'll prove it to you. And then I'll tell you something small we can do about it. But just take a second to think about how crazy this is. If you're under 60 years old, you have no idea what life was like before plastic. Just look around at everything around you, your smartphone, your watch, your TV set, your clothing, your backpack, your furniture. Look around your kitchen. Look in your car. It's almost impossible to imagine a world before the miracle of plastic. Think of life before plastic bags and plastic wrap. Imagine packages. Every bottle would be glass or metal. I mean, just think of the buttons on your clothes. Try credit cards without plastic. Try toys. Lots of wood, I guess. Lots of cotton or wool clothes, no artificial fibers. Metal lunchboxes for the kids. I know it was a funny scene in that 1967 movie called The Graduate. It was funny and quirky, and it was meant to be funny and quirky. But you know, that plastic scene, it was absolutely true.
I just want to say one word to you. Just one word.
Yes, sir.
Are you listening?
Yes, I am.
Plastics.
Exactly how do you mean?
There's a great future in plastics. Think about it. Will you think about it?
Yes, I will.
Enough said. That's a deal.
Here he is now.
That would be like someone telling you in 1990 that the future is the internet, or in 2005 that the future is smartphones. Yeah. You know all this, so much that you don't even notice plastic anymore. You can't imagine life without plastic. Just think of, I don't know, pet owners and how they go for walks with their dogs and bring plastic bags with them to clean up after them. How would you even do that without plastic bags? I don't know how they did it before plastic bags. Just think of the last 6 months. During the pandemic panic, put aside the exaggeration of the pandemic's risks, the solutions are all plastic-based, whether it's masks or visors or hazmat suits. Grocery stores banned those gross reusable bags, you know, the ones made out of cloth or whatever, because the thing about plastic is it's so clean. It's non-porous, it's watertight and airtight, and it's cheap enough that you can make countless plastic bags, much cheaper than a reusable bag that collects all sort of bacteria in it. Viruses, frankly, being the least of your concerns. Hand sanitizer pump bottles, those infrared thermometers, goggles. You just don't have personal protective anything without plastic. So get this. I saw this just this week. Plastic bag ban in Newfoundland and Labrador starts October 1st. Hang on, they just told us that we have to use plastic bags in grocery stores now because of the virus. You can't use those reusable bags. They just said that because those reusable bags have the viruses in them. But now they're banned. Let me read some more. Province confirms that starting on that date, retailers will no longer be permitted to distribute single-use plastic bags, not even allowed to by law. Let me read a bit from this crazy story. St. John's, Newfoundland. 4 weeks from Thursday, a single-use plastic shopping bag will start to become a collector's item in Newfoundland and Labrador. Minister of the Environment, Derek Bennett, today reiterated that a ban on the distribution of retail plastic bags in the province will begin on October 1. Originally, the ban was to have been in place on July 1, but the date was pushed forward after a request from the Canadian Federation of Independent Grocers, which said it was concerned about employee safety in handling reusable bags during the COVID-19 pandemic. That request and its granting came in early April during the first weeks of the pandemic and the provincial public health restrictions which had resulted from it. So the province is still on lockdown, as you may know. But I guess grocery store workers just have to suck it up now. Not sure how to square those two things politically. They're actually telling people to wash those reusable bags after every single use. Let me quote. Consumers are asked to wash their reusable bags after every use at a grocery or retail store. Do you think anyone does that? The whole thing's such a joke, but look at this. In a news release, Bennett said Newfoundland and Labrador's ban is in concert with ongoing work with the Council on the Zero Plastic Waste Strategy as part of the Ocean Plastics Charter. The federal government has indicated a national ban on single-use plastic bags could come as early as 2021, although that indication came in January of this year before the start of the pandemic. So Trudeau's planning to ban plastic too, because of course he will. Catherine McKenna, the disgraced former environment minister, she is obsessed with banning plastic and still bangs on about it all the time, despite being fired from her position as environment minister. She's a big proponent of replacing plastic straws with paper straws. Have you ever used a paper straw? You know it tastes awful because unlike plastic, paper has a taste and it gets soggy immediately. Catherine McKenna is exactly the kind of person who tells you to use a paper straw while, wearing a face mask. But of course, her government loves plastic water bottles. Just one Trudeau department alone has spent nearly $1 million on plastic bottles of water for them. It's just you who has to stop using plastic, not Catherine McKenna or Justin Trudeau. There are so many pictures of McKenna and Trudeau on the internet drinking out of single-use plastic bottles. It's got to be an inside joke for them to rage against plastic bottles. It's got to be. The problem with plastic pollution isn't your straw or your water bottle. Don't take it from me, take it from the World Economic Forum, the fancy meet and greet at Davos that Trudeau loves to go to, hobnobbing with the billionaires. Look at this. 90% of plastic polluting our oceans comes from just 10 rivers. 90% of the world's plastic pollution comes from 10 rivers, and none of them are anywhere near us. 8 of them are in Asia: the Yangtze, Indus, Yellow, Hai, Ganges, Pearl, Amur, Mekong, and 2 in Africa, the Nile and the Niger. So yeah, you have to use a paper straw in Canada because China is dumping plastic into its rivers, you see. It doesn't make sense. But look, Newfoundland is a smaller province. This ban isn't on everything. It's just plastic bags, banning plastic straws. It's a nuisance. And you just know the elite politicians don't use paper straws. I mean, it's like this clown.
We have recently switched to drinking water bottles out of when we have water bottles out of plastic. Away from plastic towards paper, like drink box water bottles, sort of thing.
Yeah, no one really knew what that meant, but we know it really means that he does whatever he wants, his private jet lifestyle, and you're the one with no plastic bags or plastic straws. But seriously, if all this is a ban on plastic bags in grocery stores, is that a big deal? Well, let me remind you of what Trudeau was gearing up to do before the pandemic pushed him off track. Here's global news. Canada-wide ban on many single-use plastics on track for 2021, the minister says. Plastic bags, straws, bottles, and styrofoam containers meant to be used once and discarded are expected to be on the list. Here's the CBC. Single-use plastic ban coming in 2021 after report concludes there is evidence of harm. Evidence of harm? Really? Try living without plastic for one day. Harm. The reason plastics are everywhere is precisely because they are harmless. You can lick a plastic spoon. It's not toxic. You can put a sandwich in a plastic bag and seal it for lunch. It's the opposite of toxic. It's hygienic. These folks are liars. Here's the Globe and Mail. Canada to release list of proposed banned plastic products in months, minister says. Every newspaper in Canada is thrilled with this. And even the foreign media. Here's the BBC. Here's what they say. Canada to ban single-use plastics as early as 2021. Canada will ban harmful single-use plastics as early as 2021 in a bid to reduce ocean waste, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has announced. Ocean waste? Is that why landlocked Alberta and Saskatchewan have to use paper straws because of ocean waste? I've already shown you from Trudeau's favorite source that it's China, India, and Africa that are doing all of the plastic polluting of the oceans and rivers. It is not us. This isn't really about cleaning up the world. It's about huge government grants to liberal lobbyists who just figure out how to use the phrase green in their pitches. So expect the Kielburgers to come up with some idea here or something. And it's really about a war on the stuff that plastic comes from. You know what plastic comes from? Oil and gas. Plastics are made from hydrocarbons. Here, listen for yourself. Here's the new Deputy Prime Minister, the Prime Minister in all ways that count, Chrystia Freeland. Take a listen to this.
To Lena's question about decarbonization as part of our economic plan going forward, of course, it has to be part of it. I think all Canadians understand that the restart of our economy needs to be green.
Oh, so they're going to borrow a lot more money, of course, spend a lot more of it on their lobbyist friends with their green schemes, but mainly they're going to decarbonize the country. As in Alberta, just get rid of it. Get rid of Alberta oil, gas, and plastic. Just done. Saudi Arabia can keep exporting oil to Canada. Trudeau loves those OPEC oil imports off the East Coast. He doesn't even charge a carbon tax on them. But Alberta, Saskatchewan, British Columbia, even Newfoundland, the places where there's still some oil and gas jobs left and some plastics jobs left in Ontario too. Sorry guys, time to decarbonize. It just is, because plastics are harmful. That is junk science. That is a weird lie. A friend sent me a petition from the Coalition of Concerned Manufacturers and Businesses of Canada. You can see who they are here. Lots of industrial manufacturers. You can see our friend Catherine Swift is on their board. So you know they're pro-business. I think they're brave. I think it's dangerous in Canada to stand up to Trudeau or Catherine McKenna or the new Environment Minister Jonathan Wilkinson. I mean, you speak out against them and they'll go to war against you. They'll regulate you. They'll sick their friends in Greenpeace on you. Now, I like petitions. We do a lot of petitions on our own. I want to encourage this pro-business group because they're doing a petition themselves. It's so rare. Don't tell me the last time you saw businesses with any courage. I'd like to give these guys a boost. This is not an ad for this group. They haven't paid us. I mean, I'd be happy to take ads from them, promote them. And if that happens, I'll let you know. But this is an editorial. We have to help these guys. Tell me the last time you saw any businesses fighting back against Trudeau. Even the oil companies in Alberta are too cowardly in general. They didn't take on Rachel Notley either. Maybe they think Chrystia Freeland is kidding when she talks about decarbonization. Do you think she's kidding? You can find their petition at ccmbc.ca. It's a bit of a mouthful, ccmbc.ca. I'd love to get them a few more names on their petition of rebel supporters. I mean, you tell me the last time you heard of big companies talking like this.
Plastics save lives in hospitals every day. Face masks, shields, gowns, easy-to-clean surfaces. The list is endless. But did you know the Trudeau government is trying to deem plastic toxic when it's not? Trudeau is wrong again. Join the fight. Sign our petition. We are the Coalition of Concerned Manufacturers and Businesses of Canada. Help us fight back at www.ccmbc.ca.
Part of me thinks that even Trudeau isn't stupid enough to ban plastic or to pretend that it's scientifically or medically harmful. Plastic? Next time you're in a hospital or a doctor's office, just look at everything made in plastic, including counters that you can wipe down because they're non-porous. Imagine calling plastic harmful. Part of me thinks this can't be real. Come on, Trudeau can't really be planning to ban everything useful made of plastic, the most useful invention since the printing press. Even Trudeau's not that crazy. I think Trudeau's recent misconduct has told us when he tells us he's going to do something awful, believe him. That's an excerpt from my daily show, the Ezra Levant Show. Every day I do a monologue on the news of the day, then I interview an interesting guest, and then I read my hate mail. You gotta subscribe. Go to rebelnews.com.